Day one of the mass national voter registration exercise, the electoral body IEBC seeking to enlist 6.1 million new voters to add to the 15.9 million already in the national roll of voters. Only a handful of eligible voters turned up for registration across the country in the centers where 7,793 biometric voter registration kits were stationed. A survey across the country indicating that most centers registered an average of 40 new voters, even though the BVR kits have the capacity to capture the data of at least 108 eligible voters daily.
Na feel poa juu next election sikuweza kuchukua, so nataka hiyo time nichukue ndo nichague kiongozi mwenye anafaa.
The last voter registration drive before the August general election also got off to a rocky start, with technical challenges being reported in many centers. Some of the kits had power failures, forcing the registration clerks to seek alternatives, to the disappointment of some eligible voters who had turned up as early as 6 a.m.
Wamesema tena betri haina moto, wanangoja waombe generator.
Jana wangeshughulika na mambo yote mpaka hiyo generator ingelala hapa, asubuhi wangengurumisha tu na waanze kazi yao.
BVR kits are like any other machines and the capacity varies. Remember, these are machines we bought in 2012, so their operation depends on how optimum they can be.
A spot check in Kakamega, Kisumu, Kiambu, Embu, Meru, Nakuru and Uasin Gishu counties indicated a slow start to the exercise, with many eligible voters arguing that they had sufficient time to turn up for registration, with some adopting a wait-and-see attitude, despite the mobilization spearheaded by the political class.
Wakenya wenye wamezoea kutokelezea dakika ya mwisho, nataka niwaambie ya kwamba wajitokelezee mapema. Tuko na siku 30, hata Jumapili, hata Jumamosi.
But the voter enlisting drive did not take off in at least 16 registration centers in Tiaty sub-county due to violence that has rocked Kapedo, Kapau, Kapedo Bridge, Sitot, Chepa West and Amayan at the border of Turkana and Baringo counties. These areas remained deserted after a shootout last night, registration clerks opting to keep off due to the security situation. Some of the residents targeted for registration as voters forced to relocate in search of water and pasture as drought bites in the region.
Mimi sijui ni kwa sababu gani serikali haifuatilii maanani ya watu ya Kapedo. Na pia sisi wakati kura inaingia hawa wanatarajia sisi tuwapigia wa kura.
Sababu kuu ya mauaji haya ni mambo ya resources. Ya kwanza ni mambo ya land.
In Mombasa County, more than 30,000 national identity cards remain uncollected at the region's registration bureau. The low turnout, especially among the youthful eligible voters, attributed to political fatigue.
Tuseme viongozi wetu yani wamekuwa ni watu wa ahadi nyingi shaona, lakini hawatimizi shaona. Tusiketi kudanganywa katika mitaani, kiongozi huyu hana manufaa, kiongozi huyu hana manufaa. Jitolee uchukue ile kadi yako ya kura, iwe ni silaha kutoka kwako wewe.
In the neighboring Kwale County, members of the Makonde community expressed fears of being locked out of the August polls. They want the national government to fulfill its promise of issuing them with the national identity cards after decades of being stateless.
Kwa nasemekana kwa tutapata ID mwezi wa 12. Sasa tumekaa mpaka sasa Januari hatujapata ID na watu wanakata kura na sasa tujakata kwa, sasa itakuaje?
Nataka tupige kura, kwa nini tusipige kura? Na sisi tuko hapa Kenya.
Those registered prior to the 2013 general election will not be required to register afresh. However, they can confirm their registration details at the polling stations where they were enlisted, while those keen on moving to new polling centers will be required to submit their transfer applications at the constituency offices. The mass national voter registration closes on the 14th of next month. The low turnout in various voter registration centers across the country raises questions on IEBC's ability to capture 6.1 million new voters out of 9 million Kenyans who have identity cards but are yet to be enlisted in the national roll of voters. In the last voter registration exercise, only 1.4 million out of the targeted 4 million Kenyans were captured. Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV, Nairobi.